Captain Li Wu-jin stood on the bridge of his ship, looking out at the stars. His vessel, the Harmony's Edge, was traveling through space toward a distant planet. The ship carried something very special: 127 children, from different human colonies. These young people were the smartest kids in human space. They were going to the best school in the galaxy on Centauri Prime. Li Wu-jin had been a space captain for 20 years. He had seen many strange things and met aliens from dozens of different worlds, but he never got tired of watching children learn and grow. These kids on his ship were excited about their future. They spent their days studying alien languages, learning about different planets and making friends with each other. Dr. Park So-young walked onto the bridge. She was the ship's expert on alien cultures. Her job was to help humans understand other species and help other species understand humans. She carried a data pad in her hands and looked worried. "Captain, we have a problem," she said. "Long-range sensors show a big ship ahead of us. It's Vorthon." Li Wu-jin knew about the Vorthons. They were large reptile-like creatures who lived in a strict military society. They had joined the Galactic Council 50 years before humans did. The Vorthons followed rules very carefully and expected everyone else to do the same. "What type of ship?" Li Wu-jin asked. "A battle cruiser, the Stellar Pride. It's one of their biggest ships," Park So-young replied. Commander Kim Tae-ho entered the bridge. He was the military officer on the ship, but the Harmony's Edge was not a warship. It was designed for exploration and peaceful missions. Kim Tae-ho had fought in small conflicts on the edge of human space, but he usually kept quiet about his past. "Captain, they're sending us a message," the communications officer said. The main screen showed a large Vorthon with dark green scales and yellow eyes. He wore the uniform of a high-ranking military officer. When he spoke, his voice was deep and harsh. "Human vessel, this is Supreme Claw Velthar of the Vorthon Imperial Navy. You will stop your ship and prepare for inspection. We have reports of illegal activities in this sector." Li Wu-jin stepped forward. "This is Captain Li Wu-jin of the human ship Harmony's Edge. We are on a peaceful mission. We carry no weapons and no illegal cargo. We are transporting students to the Galactic Youth Academy." The Vorthon's yellow eyes seemed to glow brighter. "Students? How many?" 127 children, ages 6 to 16. Li Wu-jin answered honestly. Something changed in the Vorthon's expression. His mouth opened slightly, showing sharp teeth. "You will allow us to board your ship immediately." Dr. Park So-young stepped beside the captain. She had studied Vorthon culture for many years. "Supreme Claw Velthar, may I ask the reason for this inspection? We have all proper travel documents approved by the Galactic Council." "The reason is security," Velthar said, but his eyes looked angry, not just careful. "These children, they are dangerous." Li Wu-jin felt confused. "Dangerous? They are students. The youngest is only 6 years old. Human children learn too fast, they adapt too quickly. They make friends with aliens too easily," Velthar said. "This threatens the natural order of the galaxy." Commander Kim Tae-ho moved closer to the captain. Something in the Vorthon's words worried him. In his military training, he had learned to listen for hidden meanings in enemy communications. "Supreme Claw, we follow all galactic laws," Li Wu-jin said. "The sacred law protects all children in space. No one may harm the young of any species." Velthar's laugh was not pleasant. "Laws can change, human. The galaxy is not as safe for your kind as you think." The communication ended. On the main screen, they could see the massive Vorthon ship moving closer. It was 3 times the size of the Harmony's Edge. Its dark metal hull had weapon ports that could destroy the human ship in seconds. Dr. Park So-young looked at her data pad. "Captain, I'm reading strange energy signatures from their ship. They're not just scanning us, they're preparing weapons." "But that's impossible," Li Wu-jin said. "The sacred law has protected children for over 200 years. No species has broken it since the Childling Wars." Kim Tae-ho checked his own instruments. "Captain, I'm detecting more ships. At least 10 more Vorthon vessels are approaching our position." In the lower decks of the ship, the children continued their studies. They did not know about the danger above them. A girl named Kim Yoo-jin was teaching a younger boy how to speak basic Delphinian, the language of the whale-like aliens. Another student, Park Hyun-woo, was working on a science project about crystal formations on alien worlds. These children represented the best of humanity. They came from farms and cities, from space stations and moon colonies. But they all shared something special. They wanted to learn about the universe and make friends with beings from other worlds. Dr. Park So-young studied the approaching Vorthan ships. "Captain, this is not a random patrol. They knew we were coming. Someone told them about the children." "Who would do that?" Lee Woo-jin asked. "I don't know," she replied. "But I'm getting reports from other human ships. 3 colony vessels carrying families have been stopped by alien patrols in the last week. Each time they asked specifically about human children." Kim Tae-ho activated a secure communication channel. He sent a coded message to Earth. The message was short but important. "Shepherd protocol may be needed. Human children are being targeted." On Earth, in a secret facility, Admiral Yang Min-ho received the message. He had hoped this day would never come. 50 years ago, when humans first joined the galactic community, they had seemed welcome. But some humans had worried that other species might become jealous of human abilities. Children were the key to everything. Human children had a special gift. They could learn any alien language, adapt to any environment, and most importantly, they could make friends with alien children better than adults could make friends with alien adults. Back on the Harmony's edge, Supreme Claw Velthar contacted them again. This time, his message was not a request. "Human ship, you will surrender the children to us immediately. We will study them to understand why they are so dangerous to galactic peace." Lee Woo-jin felt anger rising in his chest. "Never. These children are under our protection." "Then you will all die together," Velthar said. The ship shook as the Vorthon weapons hit the shields. Red warning lights flashed on the bridge of the Harmony's edge. Captain Lee Woo-jin grabbed his chair to stay standing. "Shields down to 60%, the engineer reported. Dr. Park So-young was typing quickly on her datapad. "Captain, I'm getting an emergency message from Ambassador Kang Ji-hai on Earth." The communication screen showed a middle-aged Korean woman with worried eyes. She was sitting in the Galactic Council building on Earth. Behind her, Lee Woo-jin could see other human officials running back and forth. "Captain Lee, we have a serious problem," Ambassador Kang said. 3 alien species have formed a group called the Stability Pact. They say human expansion is happening too fast. "What does that mean?" Lee Woo-jin asked as another blast hit his ship. "They think humans are becoming too powerful. They're especially worried about human children," the ambassador replied. "The Vorthans, the Nexari, and the Zephyrians have been meeting in secret for months." Commander Kim Tae-ho stepped forward. "Ambassador, they're attacking us right now. We have children on board." "I know," Kang Ji-hai said sadly. "That's why I'm calling. The Galactic Council is holding an emergency meeting about the sacred law." Dr. Park So-young felt her stomach drop. "They can't change the sacred law. It's protected children for centuries." "The alien species say human children are different," the ambassador explained. "They learn too fast. They adapt too well. They make friends across species lines in ways that threaten traditional boundaries." On the main screen, they could see more Vorthan ships arriving. The Harmony's edge was now surrounded by 30 enemy vessels. Each one was larger and more heavily armed than the human ship. Supreme Claw Velthar appeared on the communication screen again. "Human Captain, your government cannot save you. The galaxy has decided that human children are a threat to natural order." "What are you talking about?" Lee Woo-jin demanded. "Your young ones test higher than any other species in intelligence, creativity, and adaptation," Velthar said. "But worst of all, they form emotional bonds with alien children. This breaks down the proper barriers between species." Dr. Park So-young had been studying human-alien relationships for years. She knew what Velthar meant. Human children had a unique ability to make friends with young aliens. They learned alien games, shared human games, and created new games together. They invented new languages that mixed human and alien words. They even created art and music that combined different species' traditions. "That's not dangerous," she said. "That's wonderful." "For humans, perhaps," Velthar replied. "But it threatens the stability of our separate cultures. Soon, all young beings will think like humans. They will want human freedoms and human dreams." Another blast hit the ship. This time, sparks flew from control panels, the lights flickered. "Shields down to 30%, the engineer called out. Commander Kim Tae-ho made a decision. He activated a hidden communication system that only he could access. "This is Commander Kim Tae-ho. Activation code Shepard 77. All hidden assets prepare for emergency protocol." Li Wu-jin looked at him in surprise. "What was that?" "Something I hoped I would never need to use," Kim Tae-ho replied. Across the galaxy, in star systems light years apart, humans received coded messages. A merchant on a trading station near Vorthon space suddenly left his shop and went to a hidden weapons cache. A scientist studying crystal formations on an alien world quietly began packing special equipment. A diplomat at a peace conference excused herself and sent urgent messages to military contacts. These humans had been living normal lives, but they all shared a secret. They were part of a hidden network created to protect humanity if other species ever turned against them. On the Harmony's edge, Ambassador Kang Jihai's face appeared on the screen again. This time, she looked very sad. "Captain, I have terrible news. The Galactic Council has voted." "What did they decide?" Dr. Park So-young asked, though she was afraid of the answer. "They voted to suspend the sacred law for human children only," Kang Jihai said. "The vote was 847 in favor, 23 against." Li Wu-jin felt sick. How is that possible? "Most species are afraid of human potential," the ambassador explained. "They think if human children continue to grow and learn and make alien friends, humans will eventually take over the galaxy. But we don't want to take over anything," Li Wu-jin said. "We just want to explore and learn." "I know," Kang Jihai replied, "but fear makes people do terrible things." The communication ended just as the Vorthons launched their main attack. Dozens of energy beams hit the Harmony's edge at once. The ship's shields failed completely. "All power is failing," the engineer shouted. "We need to evacuate." "Launch the escape pods," Li Wu-jin ordered. "Get the children to safety." Dr. Park So-young ran to the lower decks where the children were located. She found them scared but trying to help each other. Kim Yu-jin, the 14-year-old language expert, was comforting younger children. Park Hyun-woo, who was only 12, was helping other kids put on their emergency suits. "Everyone to the escape pods," Dr. Park So-young called out. "Stay calm and help each other." The children moved quickly but carefully. They had practiced emergency drills many times. Even though they were afraid, they remembered their training. Kim Yu-jin helped count the children as they entered the escape pods. "Dr. Park, pod number 7 isn't launching. The door is stuck." Park So-young ran to pod 7. Inside were 18 children, including some of the youngest students. She could see the mechanical problem. Debris from the ship's damage had blocked the launch mechanism. Before she could fix it, a green energy beam surrounded the pod. It was a Vorthon tractor beam, designed to capture enemy ships. "No, Dr. Park," So-young shouted. She tried to break the beam with emergency tools, but it was too strong. On the bridge, Commander Kim Tae-ho watched in horror as the Vorthons pulled Pod 7 into their ship. "Captain, they've captured 18 children." Supreme Claw Velthar appeared on the screen one last time. "These children will be studied. We will learn how to prevent other human young from becoming threats to galactic stability." "You're breaking the most sacred law in the galaxy," Li Wu-jin said. "We are saving the galaxy," Velthar replied, "and soon other species will thank us." The Vorthon ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, taking the 18 human children with them. Commander Kim Tae-ho looked at his captain. "Sir, the Shepard Protocol is now fully active. Every hidden human asset in the galaxy has been awakened." "What does that mean?" Li Wu-jin asked. "It means," Kim Tae-ho said grimly, "that the On Earth, Admiral Yang Min-ho sat in a room deep underground. The walls were covered with screens showing star maps and ship positions across the galaxy. For 50 years, he had hoped this room would never be used. Now, red lights flashed as the Shepard protocol activated. Report, Admiral Yang said to his aide. Sir, we have confirmation. 18 human children have been captured by Vorthons. The sacred law has been suspended by Galactic Council vote, Captain Choi Yunseo said. She was connected by hologram from the Andromeda Research Station. How many assets have responded to the activation signal? Yang asked. All of them, sir, replied General Bei Junho from his position in the Outer Rim. 2,312 hidden operatives across 197 star systems. Admiral Yang had been planning for this day since humans first joined the galactic community. He knew that other species might become jealous of human abilities, so he had quietly placed humans in key positions throughout the galaxy. They pretended to be simple merchants, researchers, and tourists. But they were all trained soldiers and intelligence agents. Dr. Lee Ha-na appeared on another hologram. She was the head of the Xenological Institute, the organization that studied alien psychology. Admiral, I've been analyzing alien communications. This isn't just about the Vorthans. The Stability Pact has been planning this for months. What's their real goal? Yang asked. They want to stop human expansion permanently, Dr. Lee replied. They think if they can prove human children are dangerous, they can justify attacking human colonies. Back in space, Captain Li Wu-jin was transferring to a fast rescue ship called the Swift Arrow. His original vessel, the Harmony's Edge, was too damaged to continue. With him came Dr. Park So-young and Commander Kim Tae-ho. The Swift Arrow was piloted by Nam Yoon-seo, a former racing champion who could fly faster than almost anyone in human space. The ship's engineer was Shin Dong-wook, who specialized in understanding alien technology. Their medic was Lim Soo-jin, who had studied the biology of dozens of different species. Where are they taking the children? Lee Woo-jin asked. Dr. Park, So-young checked her instruments. Based on Vorthon flight patterns and energy signatures, I think they're heading to the Necros sector. That's a region of dead stars, Nam Yoon-seo said. Perfect place to hide something you don't want found. Commander Kim Tae-ho was receiving reports from the hidden human network. Captain, our agents are confirming something terrible. This isn't the first time children have been taken. What do you mean? Dr. Park asked. Over the past 6 months, young beings from several species have disappeared, Kim Tae-ho explained. Howler pups, delphinian calves, even some crystalline younglings. Their families were told it was pirate attacks. But it was the Vorthons, Lee Woo-jin realized. Yes, and all the missing children had one thing in common. They had been making friends with human children. Inside the captured escape pod, the 18 human children were scared, but trying to stay brave. Kim Yoo-jin, the oldest at 14, was keeping the others calm by teaching them breathing exercises she had learned from a Delphinian friend. Listen to me, she whispered to the other children. We need to watch everything and learn as much as we can about these aliens. If we get a chance to escape, we'll need to know how their ship works. Park Hyun-woo, who was only 12 but very smart about machines, was studying the walls of their prison. The air system works differently than human ships, he said quietly. And look at these control panels. The symbols are different from what we learned in school. The Vorthon guards were large and frightening, but Kim Yoo-jin noticed something important. They always traveled in groups of 3, and they seemed to be afraid of making mistakes. Their society was so strict that even small errors could get them in trouble. They're more scared than we are, she told the other children. They're afraid of their own leaders. Meanwhile, the Swift Arrow was racing through space toward the Necros sector. But they were not alone. Commander Kim Tae-ho had called for help from humanity's few alien allies. Captain, we're receiving a transmission, Nam Yoon-seo announced. The screen showed a large wolf-like creature with intelligent eyes and sharp teeth. It was Pack Leader Razor Song of the Howler Nation. Human friends, Razor Song said in accented, but clear human language. We have heard about the broken law. This cannot stand. Pack Leader, this is dangerous for your people, Lee Woo-jin said. The Galactic Council has voted against us. The Galactic Council is wrong, Razor Song replied. Howler children have also been taken. We thought they were killed by space pirates. Now we know the truth. Another transmission came in. This one showed a beautiful whale-like creature floating in a tank of water. It was Wave Dancer Symphony of the Delphinian Republic. Captain Li Wu-jin, Wave Dancer said, her voice like singing. Our young ones are also missing. We will swim the dark space with you to find them. Dr. Park So-young felt hope for the first time since the attack. How many ships do you have? 20 Howler warships and 5 Delphinian cruisers. Razor Song answered. Not enough to fight the full Vorthan fleet, but enough to help rescue the children. Why are you helping us? Li Wu-jin asked. Your species could be punished by the Galactic Council. Wave Dancer's reply was simple. Because human children taught our children new songs, songs of friendship and hope. We will not let those songs die. As the combined fleet approached the Necros sector, they discovered something shocking. Hidden among the dead stars was a massive facility. It was bigger than a space station, with multiple sections and hundreds of ships docked to it. What is that place? Shin Dong-wook asked. Dr. Park So-young scanned the facility with long-range sensors. It's some kind of research station, and I'm reading life signs from dozens of different species. They're not just studying human children, she realized. They're studying young beings from many different worlds. Inside the facility, Kim Yoo-jin and the other human children had been separated into smaller groups. But Kim Yoo-jin had managed to communicate with children from other species using hand signals and simple drawings. She met a young howler named Swift Paw, who could understand some human words. She also met a Delphinian calf called Echo Dreams, who communicated through musical sounds. The Vorthon scientists were trying to understand why these children could make friends so easily across species lines. They used machines to scan their brains and tested their problem-solving abilities. But the children were learning too. Kim Yoo-jin discovered that the facility's power came from a large crystal that made a humming sound. Park Hyun-woo figured out that the prison doors used simple magnetic locks that could be disrupted by the right frequency. Most importantly, the children were teaching each other. Swiftpaw learned human words, Echo Dreams taught them Delphinian songs, and the human children shared their games and stories. We're stronger together, Kim Yoo-jin told the others. That's what makes us dangerous to them. Not our individual abilities, but our ability to become friends. The Vorthon scientists didn't understand this. They kept looking for some special brain structure or genetic difference that explained human children's abilities. They didn't realize that the secret was much simpler. Human children just wanted to be friends with everyone. Outside the facility, the rescue fleet prepared for battle. Captain Li Wu-jin knew they were outnumbered, but they had advantages the Vorthons didn't expect. Remember, he told his allies over the communication system, we're not trying to win a war, we're trying to save children. The battle began with a surprise. Pack leader Razor Song's Howler ships attacked from 3 directions at once, using pack-hunting tactics that confused the Vorthan defenders. Their ships moved like wolves in space, coordinating perfectly without needing constant radio contact. Wave Dancer Symphony's Delphinian cruisers approached from below the facility. Their ships were designed to move like whales swimming through deep ocean. They could change direction quickly and use sound-based weapons that made Vorthan ships shake apart. Captain Li Wu-jin watched the battle from the Swift Arrow. Nam Yoon-seo, get us close to that facility. We need to find where they're keeping the children. The pilot's hands danced over the controls. Hold on, Captain. This is going to be rough. The Swift Arrow flew between the larger ships, dodging energy blasts and explosions. Shin Dong-wook worked frantically to keep their shields working while Lim Soo-jin prepared medical supplies for the rescued children. I'm detecting the children's life signs, Dr. Park So-young announced. They're in the central section of the facility, about halfway down. Inside the facility, Kim Yoo-jin heard the sound of weapons fire. She knew someone was coming to help them. She gathered the other children around her. Listen, everyone, she said. I think our people are trying to rescue us, but we need to be ready to help ourselves. Park Hyun-woo had been studying the prison door for hours. I think I know how to open it, but we need to make a specific sound frequency. What kind of sound? Asked Swiftpaw, the young howler. Like a musical note, but very pure, Park Hyun-woo explained. Echo Dreams, the Delphinian calf, made a beautiful, clear sound. The magnetic lock on the door flickered. That's close, but not quite right, Park Hyun-woo said. Can you make it a little higher? Echo Dreams tried again. This time the lock clicked open. The children cheered quietly, but Kim Yoo-jin held up, her hand for silence. We need to free the others first. There are hundreds of young beings in this facility. The human children, along with Swiftpaw and Echo Dreams, began moving through the corridors. They used the air vents to avoid Vorthon guards. In each prison section, they found more children from different species. There were young crystalline beings who looked like living gemstones. There were small furry creatures called tunnel runners who lived underground on their home worlds. There were even some bird-like soaring folk who had been captured during migration. Kim Yoo-jin realized something terrible. These children had been here for months. The Vorthons had been taking young beings from many species, not just humans. But they had told each species that it was a different problem: pirates, accidents, or natural disasters. They've been lying to everyone, she whispered to Park Hyun-woo. Meanwhile, the space battle was getting more intense. Supreme Claw Velthar had called for reinforcements. More Vorthon ships were arriving every hour. Commander Kim Tae-ho was coordinating with the hidden human network. Captain, we have ships moving in from 6 different systems. Our merchant vessels are dropping their disguises and revealing hidden weapons. How many ships do we have? Lee Woo-jin asked. 43 vessels of various types, Kim Tae-ho replied. Not all warships, but all crewed by people who want to save those children. Dr. Park So-young was monitoring alien communication channels. Captain, I'm picking up something interesting. Ships from other species are asking questions about their own missing children. What do you mean? Word is spreading about what we found here, she explained. Parents from dozens of worlds are demanding to know if their children were really killed by pirates or if they're prisoners here. The truth was beginning to spread across the galaxy. The Galactic Council had thought they were voting to control human expansion, but they had actually been helping the Vorthons commit crimes against many species. Inside the facility, Kim Yoo-jin and her group had freed over 200 young beings. But they faced a new problem: how to get everyone out safely. The docking bays are heavily guarded, Swiftpaw reported. His enhanced senses could detect Vorthon soldiers from far away. What about the power center? Park Hyun-woo suggested. If we could shut down the facility's energy, the rescue ships could break in more easily. Echo Dreams made a series of musical sounds. Kim Yoo-jin was learning to understand some Delphinian communication. She says the crystal that powers this place makes the wrong sound. It hurts her ears. Maybe that's our answer, Kim Yoo-jin realized. Echo Dreams, can you make a sound that would hurt the crystal? The young Delphinian made a questioning sound. Not to hurt it, Kim Yoo-jin explained. Quickly. To make it stop working, Park Hyun-woo understood. Like breaking a glass with a high note. If Echo Dreams can find the crystal's resonant frequency, she might be able to shatter it. But Echo Dreams made a sad sound. She was just one small Delphinian. The crystal was huge and very strong. Kim Yoo-jin looked around at all the children they had freed. There were representatives from 47 different species. Each species communicated in a different way, some with sounds, some with lights, some with electromagnetic fields. What if we all helped? She asked. Each species making their own special sound all at the same time. Swiftpaw's ears perked up. A pack song? But with many different types of pack members? Exactly, Kim Yoo-jin said. Humans can't make sounds as pure as Delphinians, or as strong as howlers, or as complex as crystallines. But we can learn to copy those sounds a little bit. Park Hyun-woo was already working on the math. If we can get the harmonic frequencies right, the combined sound might be powerful enough to disrupt the crystal matrix. The idea seemed impossible. These children spoke dozens of different languages, and came from completely different cultures. Some of them had been enemies before being captured. But Kim Yoo-jin remembered something her teacher had told her. The best solutions come when different types of people work together. She began organizing what would later be called the Liberation Chorus. Each species contributed their natural communication abilities. The howler pups contributed deep, powerful howls. The delphinian calves added pure, musical tones. The crystalline younglings created complex harmonic patterns. The human children did what humans do best. They learned from everyone else and helped everyone learn from each other. Kim Yoo-jin taught simple hand signals so everyone could start and stop together. Park Hyun-woo calculated the exact frequencies needed. Outside the facility, the space battle was reaching a critical point. More ships were arriving, but not all of them were on the Vorthan side. "Captain," Dr. Park So-young announced excitedly, "I'm reading ships from 12 different species. They're demanding to search the facility for their missing children." Supreme Claw Velthar appeared on the communication screen. He looked angry and desperate. "This is a Vorthon military operation. All alien vessels will withdraw immediately." But Pack Leader Razorsong responded first. "Vorthon leader, you have howler pups. We want them back." Wave Dancer Symphony added her musical voice. "Our children sing in your prison. We will not leave without them." One by one, representatives from other species joined the conversation. Parents from across the galaxy had learned that their missing children might still be alive. Inside the facility, the Liberation Chorus was ready. Over 200 young beings from 47 different species stood together in the facility's power center. The massive crystal hummed above them, glowing with the energy that kept the prison functioning. Kim Yoo-jin raised her hand. "Remember, we start soft and build up slowly. Park Hyun-woo will give us the signal for each frequency change." The children began to sing, howl, chirp, whistle, and hum. At first, the sound seemed chaotic, but gradually, as Park Hyun-woo guided them through different frequency combinations, the sounds began to blend into something beautiful. The crystal began to vibrate. Cracks appeared in its surface. Vorthan guards came running, but they stopped in amazement when they saw what was happening. They had never imagined that so many different species could create harmony together. The song grew stronger. The crystal's vibrations became violent. Warning alarms began to sound throughout the facility. And then, with a sound like thunder, the crystal shattered. All the lights went out. All the locks opened. When the crystal shattered, something unexpected happened. The facility didn't just lose power, it began to change. The harmonic frequencies created by the Liberation Chorus spread through the entire structure like ripples in water. Kim Yoo-jin felt it first. A warm feeling in her mind, as if someone was gently removing a heavy blanket she hadn't realized was there. Around her, the other children began to stand straighter, their eyes becoming brighter and more alert. "What's happening?" Park Hyun-woo asked, but his voice sounded different, more confident than before. Echo Dreams made a sound of pure joy. The sad, frightened tone that had been in her voice for months was gone. Swift Paw howled, but it was a howl of triumph, not fear. Dr. Park So-young, monitoring from the Swift Arrow, couldn't believe what her instruments were showing. "Captain, the facility is generating massive psychic resonance, but it's not harmful. It's healing." The truth was becoming clear. The Vorthons hadn't just been studying the children. They had been using machines to suppress their natural mental development. The alien scientists wanted to understand what made young beings so adaptable and creative, so they had been slowly reducing those abilities to study the difference. But the Liberation Chorus had reversed the process. The combined mental energy of hundreds of young beings from dozens of species had overwhelmed the suppression systems. Now, all the captured children were returning to their natural state, curious, creative, and eager to make friends. The Vorthon guards fled in panic. They were trained to handle physical threats, not the overwhelming mental presence of hundreds of restored young minds working together. Supreme Claw Velthar arrived in the power center with a squad of his best soldiers. But when he saw the children standing together, Humans holding hands with howler pups, delphinian calves singing harmony with crystalline younglings. He stopped in shock. "This is impossible," he said. "Different species cannot cooperate like this. It goes against natural law." Kim Yoo-jin stepped forward. She was still only 14 years old, but her voice carried the confidence of someone much older. "Supreme Claw Velthar, you're wrong about natural law. The most natural thing in the universe is for young beings to learn and grow together. Your experiments failed because you were looking for the wrong thing," Park Hyun-woo added. "You thought our abilities came from something you could take away, but they come from something you can only give: friendship and trust." Velthar raised his weapon, but his soldiers hesitated. They had never seen anything like this before. The children weren't threatening or aggressive. They were simply standing together, representing dozens of species in perfect harmony. Echo Dreams began to sing a Delphinian song about deep ocean currents. Swift Paw added a howler harmony about running under starlight. One by one, the other children joined in, each adding their species' traditional sounds. But the song they created together was completely new. It had never been sung before because no one had ever brought together young beings from so many different worlds. The Vorthan soldiers began to lower their weapons. Some of them were crying, though they didn't understand why. The song carried emotions that reached across species barriers: hope, joy, friendship, and love. Outside the facility, the space battle had stopped. Ships from dozens of species floated in space, their crews listening to the song that was somehow broadcasting through the facility's communication systems. Pack leader Razor Song spoke first. "By the howling winds of home, that is the most beautiful sound I have ever heard." Wave Dancer Symphony's musical voice trembled with emotion. "Our children, they are teaching the universe a new song." On Earth, Ambassador Kang Ji-hai was in emergency session with the Galactic Council. The alien representatives were receiving reports from their ships in the Necros sector. Many of them were learning for the first time that their own children had been captured. Council Speaker Threnody, the ancient tree-like being, spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "It appears we have made a terrible mistake. The Vorthans told us they were protecting galactic stability. We did not know they were harming our young." "The Stability Pact lied to all of us," said the representative from the Crystalline Collective. "They made us fear human children when we should have been learning from them." Back in the facility, Supreme Claw Velthar was facing a choice. He could order his soldiers to attack the children, but he could see that his own troops were affected by the liberation song. Some of them were remembering their own childhood, before military training had taught them to see other species as threats. "This changes nothing," Velthar said, but his voice lacked conviction. "Order must be maintained. Different species must remain separate." Kim Yoo-jin walked closer to him. "Supreme Claw, can I ask you something? Do you have children?" Velthar's yellow eyes flickered. "That is not relevant." "I think it is," Kim Yoo-jin said gently. "Because if you have children, then you know they're born curious about everything. They want to explore and learn and make friends. That's not a human thing or a Vorthan thing. That's a young being thing." Park Hyun-woo stepped up beside her. "We're not trying to take over the galaxy, we just want to learn about it, and we want to share what we learn with our friends." Swift Paw padded forward on 4 legs. Pack leader Velthar, "Young howlers also want to learn and play. This is natural way." Echo Dreams added her musical voice. "All young ones sing songs of curiosity. This is how we grow." For the first time in decades, Supreme Claw Velthar thought about his own childhood. He remembered being excited about exploring new places and meeting new beings. But that had been before military school, before years of training that taught him to see differences as threats instead of opportunities. The liberation song continued to play throughout the facility, but now it was affecting the Vorthon guards as well. They were remembering what it felt like to be young and curious instead of old and afraid. Captain Lee Woo-jin's voice came over the facility's communication system. "Supreme Claw Velthar, this is Captain Lee Woo-jin. We're prepared." To accept your surrender. I do not surrender to humans, Velthar replied, but there was no anger in his voice anymore. You're not surrendering to humans, Li Wujin said. You're surrendering to the children, all the children, from all the species you've harmed. Dr. Park So-young's voice joined the conversation. Supreme Claw, we've been monitoring communications across the galaxy. Parents from 47 different species are demanding the return of their children. The Galactic Council has voted to suspend the Stability Pact and investigate these crimes. Moreover, came Ambassador Kang Jihai's voice from Earth, the sacred law has been restored and strengthened. Any being who harms children of any species will face justice from the entire galactic community. Velthar looked around at the hundreds of young beings surrounding him. They weren't angry or vengeful. They were looking at him with curiosity and even compassion. After everything he had done to them, they still wanted to understand him rather than hate him. Why? He asked Kim Yoo-jin. Why do you not hate me for what I have done? Kim Yoo-jin thought about the question carefully. Because hate doesn't help anyone learn or grow. And because... She paused, then continued with wisdom beyond her years. Because you were probably young once too, and you probably wanted to explore and make friends, just like we do. The Liberation song reached its crescendo. Hundreds of voices from dozens of species created a harmony that had never existed before in the history of the galaxy. It was a song of forgiveness, understanding, and hope for the future. Supreme Claw Velthar slowly lowered his weapon. Then, for the first time in 40 years, he sat down on the floor like a child listening to a story. Perhaps, he said quietly, it is time for this old soldier to learn some new songs. The rescue was complete, but more than that, something had changed in the galaxy itself. Young beings from different species had proven that cooperation and friendship were not threats to galactic stability. They were the foundation for a better future. The Liberation